Swim against the current, or be an infiltrated agent. Because of the current events and the crisis, we have a lot of people giving us apocalyptic news and catastrophic previsions. Every time we see more and more conspiracy, and we are receiving a lot of fake information, so no longer we can be sure of how are the present scenarios going and how all this will affect us. Every day we hear about new medicines that promise to treat the new bug that is affecting the whole world, and we hear terrible predictions about how the 5G will affect us. I personally believe that much of this information is inaccurate and is causing more confusion than helping people. My goal is to relieve those confusions by sharing my point of view about what is really happening and the right thing to do as individual beings to relieve all the pain of this world. We are in this moment in a crucial timeline where our actions and behavior will define the human's future. That is why I consider it strongly important to be responsible for what we share with others and what we believe. I actually believe that dark times are coming to the planet. On one side, we have the global economy reset announced by the World Economic Forum that is supposed to forget the country's debts in exchange of the creation of a new currency. That new currency is the one of the safety. We had a previous demo with the anti-terrorist actions. The citizens of every country will be watched 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to make sure everyone is making their part to contribute to their society by losing their privacy. And if you have the behavior of a bad guy, you will lose certain privileges, such as freedom to travel, buy, rent, or sell. On the other hand, we have the scientific dictatorship, where you need to be hospitalized if you present certain symptoms. And since the moment you lay down in a hospital bed, your body no longer belongs to you. It belongs to the health system and to the doctor that will treat you. And they can order unnecessary, aggressive treatments that in times of this bud, we see that some of those treatments had ended up as deaths. But you cannot refute medical treatments, even if you feel they are not correct, just because you are not a doctor. In the previous video, I was talking about the holistic therapist of pseudosciences, and just as a demon was for the Middle Ages, the pseudosciences are for the scientific dictatorship, so it's better to stay in a friendship zone with them before they demonize us all. Maybe, if China keeps sponsoring with money the World Health Organization, they will review some ancient Chinese medicine techniques to be accepted in our society. And here we come to another important point, a polarized planet, just as the Cold War. We will live in a world divided into the allies of Uncle Sam and the allies of Uncle Ping. And you have no choice to decide what side you will take, or if you want to be neutral. You just have to respect the side that your beloved president decides to be. I follow many people on YouTube that has been censored by promoting finding alternative solutions to the new bad and indicated names of some people as the causes of all this trouble. I believe their intentions to help are sincere, but they seem to be getting loosed by swimming against the current. Swimming against the current means that you are facing the whole system, and that doesn't seem promissory. The reality is that even if we know that the system is controlled and made by the personal interest of certain group of people, and that there is a lot of shadows in the organizations, and even if we believe we live in a democracy where we can make change by going to the streets, or voting to certain politicians, or collecting signatures for a cause, We don't have the autonomy to face the system the way we want it to do, or the way democracy supposedly indicates, because the media is controlled and belongs to private people who are not neutral with the information. And certainly, we will be censored every time we attempt to face them. So we are dying by swimming against the current. Since we already are in this reality, my proposal is to swim with the current as an infiltrated agent. But what does it mean to be an infiltrated agent? When I mention being an infiltrated agent, I am not meaning to be a Russian agent or something like this, but what I mean is to be consciousness awaked. An awaked person has empowered him, herself, and has understood that solutions don't come from outside, but from the inner guide. The main reason why humans got control is through the fear. But an awaked person is no longer controlled by external systems, because the fear is not part of their reality, once they understood that they can create their own reality. That is why we are infiltrated agents. We are the agents of the universe. We are incarnated on this planet to bring light to the earth by helping people to empower themselves and no longer feel fear. That is the real mission of a holistic therapist, and that is the legacy that Mayan astrologers left us. Understanding our own place in the world will make our existence make sense, and we will become a lantern of light to guide others. The Mayans say that since the year 2012, a new age starts for humanity, where we will be receiving the direct emanations from the center of the galaxy, a big black hole that is marking the rhythm of the whole galaxy. These direct emanations will last for 1000 years, and that will make many changes in our reality. Those changes will be strong, and humanity needs to be prepared. Our DNA composition is changing. That 97% of DNA that scientists consider as trash, just because they haven't figured out what is it, is the one that is getting active in the new age, and is the one that will promote our evolution as human beings. Only those who resonate with the emanations from the center of the galaxy are the ones that awake their consciousness, and those will be able to keep their existence in this wonderful planet as healing agents. No matter how much the shadows are making big efforts to keep this humanity asleep and unconscious, they cannot prevent the big change that is coming directly from the center of the galaxy, and those who resonate with that will awake by themselves. The change is individual. It comes from our inner being, by getting connected with the heart of the galaxy, and it will be a chain reaction that no shadow organization can prevent. So let's keep working as infiltrated agents. Do you want to activate your Starseed DNA? Please visit our website.
Hello, good morning. So thank you very much for being present in this live stream. That is the first one of the 6 months live streams that we will have. The chat now is active if you want to participate on the chat. I will try to write something so you can see. If you have some queries along the live stream, you can just put it in the chat. We have our moderator, that is Christopher Neeland, and he will be moderating the whole chat. If you need also some help from him, then just let him know. Meanwhile, I will be talking here. I guess the video has a little delay, but no problem. We will receive your message anyway, okay? I don't know if Megan is here. Megan, Elana, I don't know. Just let me know. Well, the video, it was an introduction actually to what I want to talk. That is the goal of this course of 6 months, and is the activation of the starseed DNA and the connection with the extraterrestrial wisdom that they gave us through the ancient civilizations. So it's important to understand all this. It's important to have a little knowledge, like theoretical knowledge and practice knowledge. And this is what we actually want to pass you through all these 6 months. Okay, so I just want to explain a little about me, because you can see clearly my accent. I am from Colombia. I live in Brazil I've been living here for 10 years or a little more. And I started all this evolutionary path since the year 2008, when I got introduction and initiation to the wisdom of the shamanics, of the shamans, because my town in Colombia is a land of Indians are called Sutagaos. That means the sons of the sun, and it's something similar to what we find in Peru with the Viracochas, the Quero Indians. They call themselves as the sons of the sun also. So you see many similarities between us, like from Mexico with the Tolteca Indians till the Mapuche Indians in the end in Chile. You will see a lot of similarities, and that is the ancient wisdom that these aliens have left us. That's why you see a lot of similarities, even if you see one land is really far away from the other, but you see clearly that similarity. Well, and since the year 2015, I wanted to start a new project based on what I have learned, and it was a school that passed from a different names before. It was called Shiva Shakti, and then I was passing through Portal Chincana until what I figured out the nicer name is Alien Meditation, because it describes pretty well what we want here. So this is a little description about me. So now I want to explain a little further about the first steps and how this course will work. I was receiving the query from Megan about how to start, like if the meditation has kind of step by step, how it will be, if she needs to make the implantation removal every time she makes a new meditation. So this is what I will explain. But first of all, I want to put you into a theoretical context, so you understand better what is it. So the first of all, as a Reiki instructor that I am, I explained that our DNA is like a hard disk. So you can imagine we are like computers, right? And our cells contains the DNA that it has the information of who we are. It's like a hard disk. So as a hard disk, it contains programs, many different programs. So it makes the computer work in a way or in another. Okay, so we have either positive and negative programs that are running inside us, and this is what we manifest. I mean, it's a little weird to compare us as a computer, but in the end, if you understand the energy, you understand that it's a kind of information actually, and this is what we are and what we bring, right? So the goal of this course is to recover the delete programs that we had before. We have been hearing a lot about the Atlantis legend, that is, that people from the Atlantis continent that were suddenly disappeared by a big tsunami or something like this. This is actually true. Many ancient civilizations has been talking about them. If you consider like the Sumerian tablets, it speaks about a catastrophic event for humanity. If you also consider, in a part of the course we are talking about the Indian Keros, and they have a similar, very similar theory about the beginning of the humanity and how the humanity ended up, and the reason why we ended up in this condition of limiting people, why we can't just talk by telepathy if we are energy. If the energy is information, why shouldn't I just take the emanations from your mind, understand and replay through my emanation, and you take mine, and this is telepathy, just a change of information. This is how it is. Why don't we have this gift? I mean, this capacity that we had before. So we understand many things about it, about actually the Atlantic legend, that is the first humans that had the evolutionary path, that they had the complete DNA strands activate, and they had a lot of capacities. Even we find in the Asian civilization that big cranios, that the person has like a big crown, and this is how we were before, and after that we just got limited by some conditions. And there is a part of the course that we actually explain the reason why it happens. The humanity passed through a timeline in the Atlantis civilization, and it passed through a timeline that we got to explore a lot of technology and science. We were great scientists and we had great technology until we find the power of the nuclear weapons and other kind of weapons. So when you put a big power to a person, the person can either use it for the good or for the bad, because in the end we are neutral and we have light and shadows. So it's up to us if we can use a big power through the good or through the bad. And many of those people in the Atlantic civilization, they were starting using it for the bad. And there was a moment that we needed to have an alien interference. The same aliens that were helping us by donating us their DNA charts, and they were the ones that needed to make an interference here to say stop, because you will break the planet into many pieces, so please stop and let's just make you fall in amnesia for a while until you recover by yourself, by your inner power, by your light, your inner guide, and that's how you will slowly get again into the evolutionary path. But for now, let's stop it. So this is the lead programs, a lot of the lead programs that we had before, the psychic powers that we had before. We were empowered as humans, and this is what we need to recover, and this is the goal of this course. Another thing that is, we need to remove the external fate programs, and this is something that is limiting us, because as you will see in one part of the course, we are talking about positive and negative aliens, and how positive aliens are helping us, and how negative aliens are using strategies, different strategies to limitate us. And one of these strategies is through implantation and limiting programs, like the fate that we give to external things. Okay, so instead of empowering ourselves we are giving this power to an external thing. And this is what makes us weak, because we are understanding that we are not good enough until now, and that we are straighten external egregores that belongs to that negative aliens. So in the course also we have the explanation about how they work in this way, and how we can have a self-defense against it. But the first thing is to believe in ourselves. Okay, so it doesn't matter how much meditations I do or how much reprogramations I do with the therapist, if I keep having the program of external fate. So the first thing is actually to recover this power, to understand how powerful we are, and to empower ourselves. So this is the first step. It's like, if you want to build a castle, it's okay, but first you need to have ready the field, to clean the field, remove whatever is necessary to remove in order to have a clean field. And you can, by having that ready field, start building your castle. So this is how we need to do. This is the procedure. You need to first make ready your energy field, remove any programming, any limiting programs, remove alien chips, remove all this program control. So I'm explaining also about how they operate and the implantation structure. So again, I am repeating this point because it's really important that no matter how much we go to a therapist to ask that person to reconnect us through codes and through symbols or things, external things, if we are not empowered by ourselves. So this is the first step. And that's why it's important to understand that there are negative and positive alien races. I have been hearing a lot of ufology lines, ufology courses, that they believe aliens are all good persons, and that is the humans that are bad. We are like the remaining undesirable thing of the universe, and they are the great people. And I don't follow a ufology line as that, because what I strongly believe, is that we are the mixture, we have the DNA, the mixture of DNAs of many alien races. And since we have these ancestors, we have their capacities as well, and even more. So one differentiation that we have, and that another alien races doesn't have, is the power to create our own reality through our minds and through our consciousness. And this is what many alien races doesn't have. That is why they need us to believe in them, because by manipulating our fate, they can drive us to the point they want us to be, in order for us to create their reality that they want, and not the reality that we want. Okay, so through the fair, for example, we see many programs, like right now, what is happening right now. If you stop to see, the media is just talking about that thing that is affecting the whole world, that I will not say the name, but is that sickness, and everyone is talking about that. And this is how humans, we are being driven to the point they want us to be, and not to the point we want to be. So this is one thing really important, to recover this essence, to recover this power, to understand that we as humans, we have many powers that the negative aliens doesn't have, and that is why they need to explore us this way. And another thing also, as I was mentioning before, is the first step is the implantation, the removal, because we are a cluster of energy, and all the energy contains that important information that makes ourselves. So by knowing that the negative alien races, they have been putting us implantation structures to control us, and that's why it's very important to make this procedure of the implantation removal first. And it's like it's a little aggressive process because it's like a surgery. So that's why it's necessary to be careful and to follow the warnings that I'm telling you in the course, because our energy system is like a house. I always put this as an example. It's a house. If you let the door open, the gate open, any kind of person can come inside. It can be either a good person or a bad person. Actually, a good person doesn't need to be that coming inside your house without permission. So what actually you will find inside your house if you leave the door open is not very good intentioned people. What you will find is negative people that will affect you, will, I don't know, take something from your house or do something. And this is actually the same with the energy. Every time we make a kind of a kind of procedure like that, as is it implantation removal, we make a kind of surgery and it let the doors open. That's why it's important to follow the warnings that I left in the course, like the food, the kind of food you will take for the next week, or the preparations you need to do. Like if you make an implantation removal to remove the external fate programs, and the next day you make a meditation to connect with an external egregor like a god or something. I mean, it's not very coherent, you know. It's not the intention of the first meditation. So first of all, we need to follow these instructions, and it's an aggressive technique that is like surgery. Many people can even feel pain when you're removing the chips or whatever you have that through your intuition you will feel and you remove. You will, if you have the sensibility enough, you will feel a kind of pain or something that you are removing from yourself that is like, oh my god. But then you will feel this relief that you get freedom from that. So that's the point, to follow strictly in the steps that is the first meditation, that is the removal implantation. After that, you need to have a week to take the necessary cares to get good again with your energy, like projecting the red light to your aura and to make it close again, to make it healthy again, so you can make the second procedure, that is starting activating the 12 DNA strands that has connection with the chakras. So we have 12 chakras. We don't have just that 7 main chakras that we always see, but there is 12. And that 12 chakras, they are related to the 12 DNA strands that we need to awake. And for that reason, we need to start step by step, beginning with the foot chakra. After that, we go to the knee chakra, to the root, the sacral, and so on. But we need to have this order because we first need to work over our earthly energy. There is something important that Egyptian ancient aliens has teaching us. That is, you cannot connect to the universe if you don't work first your earthly energy. That is the goddess Isis that is teaching us with her example. So first connect to me is saying goddess Isis, like I represent the earth, and through the connection to the earth, you will just jump to the stars. So in order to go to the stars, we need to be okay in this earth and to work our earthly energy. That's why we start with the foot chakra. Once we get connection with the foot chakra, the neck chakra, the root chakra, that early chakras, we understand that the crisis that they have, the negative frequency that they can have, are related to certain negative situations that we live in previous lives, but in special in our childhood, like traumas or this kind of things. So you get connected with this and you start remembering certain traumas or difficult events that you live in your childhood or even in past lives, and you need to reconnect with that events in order to heal it. It's a procedure that we call in shamanism as the rescuing the soul, because the soul is just one particle. And if you got some difficult event or a trauma, what it happens is that that particle that is your soul, it split in pieces, and they got loose in this timeline. Because what we need to understand is that the third dimension, it works in a different way than a fourth dimension and a fifth dimension, where the timelines, the space and the time, they are not linear, they are in a spiral. So what happens is that we can live in a fourth dimension, we can live the past, the present and the future at the same time, because it's not a line. So what happens is that fractals, that pieces of our soul, they get split and lost in that other timelines. So what we need to do is to have this connection, this expansion of the consciousness, to pick up the piece of our soul that was lost and bring back to us, to be an integrated person. And this is also the action of activate the DNA, to be an integrated person, to be the being that we were in the beginning, not that fragmented person that has many different personalities or desires or thoughts, but an integrated person that feels, think, and do the same thing, is coherent with him or herself. So this is the goal in our course. In the first step, of course, we will have a lot more steps, but to begin with is that. After a while, then we will be working in the sacral chakra, the heart chakras. Is two chakras, not only one. The connection with the third chakra, how to activate your clairvoyance, and the crown chakra. After a while, you also get in connection with the ancient Egyptian aliens, and this will be a very interesting part, because then we not only work with ourselves, but we get into that connection with our fellowship. So that's the goal of the course. I don't know if you have any questions, any queries until now. Just let me know in the chat. Well, if there is no query, if I hope I have been explaining myself the best way. You know, my English is not perfect, but I try my best. I appreciate your patience to understand my English. But anyway, if you have any query at any moment, we Latinians, we used to have the WhatsApp application, because it's an application that you can have more customized contact with the student. So if you make me a query, I can answer as soon as possible, but I mean, it's better than from email, for example, that I read emails once a day. So if you make me a query in the afternoon, maybe I will just answer the next day if you do by email. But if you want fast answers, and if you want me to be more present in your learning process, you can add me on WhatsApp. The number is on the description, so I just remain at your disposal if you need any help along the course, okay? So I think that's all. If there are not queries, so I will just close the window. This video will be recorded. I don't know if it will be recorded for a lifetime or it will be recorded just for a while. But those who couldn't be present in this moment on Saturday in the morning, I will just send the link. I think you already have the link, but I can send again anyway, and you can watch at any time, okay? So thank you so much for your presence. I appreciate very much, and we will be together in this alien fellowship. Thank you a lot.